So in today's video, we'll be focusing on the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. In the past few months, we have had a lot of stories coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. Some good stories and some not so good. Last week, we spoke about the state of emergency that is effective now in Trinidad and Tobago. And in today's story, we'd like to talk about the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Keith Rowley, keeping his promise to not run in the next election. So that is what we're going to talk about today. I don't know where you stand on this, if you think this is a good story that he's not running, or you think it's bad, but that is what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about it. Yes, so in a recent press conference while addressing the media, the Prime Minister stated that he intends on keeping his promise of not running for another to be re-elected in the 2025 election, and that he wants to spend more time with his family. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Prime Minister Keith Rowley about to step down, vacate the seat, and have someone else take over. So let's take a look at the report coming out of Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister Dr. Keith Rowley will not be offering himself for the next general elections and has announced plans to step out of office before the end of this legal term. Carissa Douglas was in Tobago when Dr. Rowley made the announcement and files this report.
Before the end of the legal limits of this term, I will resign this office and go off to my family.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announcing that he would be soon parting ways with politics. During Friday's press conference, Prime Minister Rowley pointed to his 45 years in public office and recalled a promise he made in the last general elections in 2020.
When I announced the PNM victory in Balizé House, I said to this country, I will not be doing that again. And I meant it, and I've kept it.
The People's National Movement is conducting screenings for the Tobago seats this weekend, and the cabinet will be in a retreat on Sunday and Monday.
One of the things that they will be told is that I will not be offering myself again to represent anyone, either in Trinidad or in Tobago. 45 years is a long time, and I would like at this time to say thank you appropriately along the way to all those who have supported my effort and to have benefited from, I hope, I would have positively impacted this country.
Dr. Rowley said he will also thank constituents of Diego Martin West who he has represented. Carissa Douglas, TTT News.
Political scientist Dr. Bishnu Raghunath has weighed in on the announcement by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley that he intends to resign from office before the 2025 general election. Dr. Raghunath said based on the comments, there will be a new Prime Minister going into the 2025 general election.
The President is called upon to appoint as Prime Minister the person who the President believes to command the majority of members in the lower house, the House of Representatives. Right now, for instance, we know that the PNM now has 21 members with the passing of Lisa Morris Julian. Keith Rowley will still be a member of the Parliament at that point in time when, so I suppose he will resign as Prime Minister, but he will hold on to his seat until the election is called.
Dr. Rowley was leader of the opposition from 2010 to 2015. He became Prime Minister in 2015 and again following the August 2020 general election. With the general election constitutionally due this year, Dr. Raghunath is of the opinion that Trinidad and Tobago will go to the polls before October 2025.
The election must be held at the latest by the beginning of September. So that is, and that is in order that we satisfy the budgetary requirements that the Parliament must pass in the month of October. So you must have a Parliament sitting before the beginning of October, and to get a parliament sitting before the beginning of October, the election has to be held at latest by the first week in September or so. So I am projecting that clearly we could have an election somewhat duplicating what we had in 2020, probably in August.
Okay, so that's the report coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. But if you are from Trinidad and Tobago, you're watching this video today, please sound off in the comment section and let me know. Be a part of this conversation, because in covering a lot of the things that's been coming out of Trinidad and Tobago for 2024, when people comment in the comment section, most of the comments are not so favorable. When we talk about the increase in crime rate in Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago is now like one of the leading. I think it's St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, then Trinidad and Tobago, leading in terms of the murder rate in the Caribbean. And when we spoke about the U.S. currency exchange thing that was going on in November and December, a shortage of U.S. currency for people to go purchase stuff on Amazon, or for a business owner to purchase to stock up for Christmas. Predominantly, when you look in the comment section, a lot of people were not happy with the Prime Minister. So sound off in the comment section. Do you think that this is the Prime Minister keeping his promise from the pandemic election, when he stated that, this was going to be his last rodeo in office? Or do you think it's just the pressure of, the high crime rate and what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago that is forcing him to step aside and to give someone else a chance to clean up what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago? Sound off and let me know what you think. And do you think that that is the best thing for Trinidad and Tobago right now, for, new leadership, someone young and fresh with new ideas to come in and to try and stem the gang violence that's going on in Trinidad and Tobago between the rival gangs, 6 and the 7, and, the drug trade that's been reported, that's been rampant in Trinidad and Tobago? Sound off, and as I said, let me know what you think. And I would just give the Prime Minister a bit of a credit for stepping down, for know when his time is up, and to give someone else the opportunity. Because in the Caribbean, and we have seen in a lot of regions, like a lot of countries in Africa and in South America, that some of the leaders just don't know when to give up. Like, they want to hold on to leadership until they're on their deathbed. So I'll give him a bit of a credit for that. So, as I said, sound off in the comment section, and I hope that Trinidad and Tobago, with the election coming up this year, in the next, election should be around September, before September, they're stating, and hopefully that we'll get some new ideas, like people with new ideas, people like with a new sense of purpose that will stem whatever is causing like the crime and the violence and everything that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago, and to return Trinidad and Tobago to its glory days that we saw like in the 60s, 70s and 80s, when Trinidad and Tobago was like the manufacturing giant of the Caribbean, the oil tycoon, the most developed island in the Caribbean. Trinidad needed to return to those glory days. So sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think about this story. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago not putting himself in the position to be re-elected, stepping down after over 2 terms in office. So sound off and let me know what you think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing details. And remember, peace. I'm out.